Halloween night isn't always fun. Sometimes it's terrifying. Tonight, I'm sharing 3 true Halloween stories that will make you question every shadow, every doorbell, and every mask you see. It was Halloween night, about 10:30 p.m. Most of the neighborhood lights were out. The street quiet except for the occasional rustle of leaves. I'd stayed home that year, nursing a cold and handing out candy to the few kids who still came by. By then, I figured it was over. I was watching a movie when the doorbell rang, a single long press that echoed through the house. I hesitated. The porch light was still on, but I hadn't heard any footsteps approach. When I opened the door, a child stood there, small, maybe 8 or 9, wearing a plain white mask and a black hoodie. The mask was featureless except for 2 eye holes and a slit for the mouth. No words, no trick or treat. Just silence. "Hey, buddy," I said, forcing a laugh. "You're out kind of late." That's when the kid tilted their head slightly and said, in a flat, muffled voice, "Hi, Evan." My stomach dropped. I hadn't introduced myself. My name wasn't on the mailbox or the door. I just stared. "Do I know you?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. The mask didn't move. The kid shifted the candy bag toward me, not holding it out, just raising it a little. That's when I noticed his hands. They were pale, almost gray, like wax. Something about it made me step back. "You should head home, kid." "It's late." The masked figure didn't answer, just turned slowly, walked down my driveway, and vanished into the dark. I closed the door, locked it, and tried to shake the feeling off. Maybe some kid from the neighborhood. Maybe he'd heard my name earlier somehow. Still, I couldn't settle. Around midnight, I glanced at my security camera feed. Motion had triggered at 11:57. On the screen, the same masked child stood at the end of my driveway again, staring up toward the camera. No movement, no sound, just watching. I scrubbed through the footage. He didn't walk away. One frame he was there, the next, gone. The next morning, I asked around. None of my neighbors had taken their kids out that night. Most said they hadn't had a single trick-or-treater. That evening, I checked the camera again before deleting the footage. There was a new clip, recorded at 3:12 a.m. The child was closer this time, standing at my front door, mask pressed against the glass. And faintly, through the speaker mic, you can hear a whisper. "Open up, Evan. I know you're awake." It was Halloween night 2 years ago. There were 4 of us, me, my best friend Luke, his girlfriend Erin, and our buddy Marcus. We were too old for trick-or-treating, but we decided to go anyway, just for fun. The night was cold enough that our breath hung in the air like smoke. We'd been walking for hours, hitting every lit porch on Oak Hill until we reached the edge of the neighborhood. That's where we saw it. A single old house set back from the road, the porch glowing faintly orange. No lights inside, no cars, no decorations, except for the pumpkins. They weren't normal orange pumpkins. They were painted pitch black, lined up perfectly across the steps. Each one had a different carved face, wide eyes, deep gashes for mouths, all glowing from inside with a dim red light. Marcus laughed. "Creepy as hell. Let's go get the good candy." We went up the cracked walkway, our footsteps crunching leaves. I remember how still the air was. No wind, no sound, just the faint buzzing of the porch light. Luke pointed to one of the pumpkins and said, "Dude, that one looks like you." I leaned closer. The carving wasn't just a random face. It was me. My hairline, the shape of my eyes, even the little scar on my lip from when I fell as a kid. Erin stepped back. "No way," she whispered. "That one's me." Each of us had a pumpkin, 4 total, 4 faces carved in perfect, eerie detail. We froze there, staring, until the porch light flickered once. Then a sound came from inside the house, slow, dragging footsteps on wood. Marcus muttered, "Someone's in there." He knocked once, half joking, but the door creaked open an inch by itself. Inside was nothing but darkness. The air that drifted out smelled like dirt and burnt candle wax. That's when we heard it. A quiet laugh from somewhere inside. Not a happy laugh. More like someone exhaling through a smile. We bolted. None of us said a word until we were halfway home. The next day, we went back. The house looked abandoned, boarded windows, overgrown yard, and the porch was empty. No pumpkins. But that night, when I got home from school, there was one sitting on my porch. Painted black, carved with my face. That Halloween, my friends and I hit a crowded party in an old rental house near campus. Music blasted, people danced in the living room, and every corner smelled like cheap beer and pumpkin spice candles. Costumes ranged from lazy masks to full Hollywood-level outfits, but one guy near the kitchen instantly stood out. He was tall, bony, and dressed in tattered clothes stained with what looked like dried blood. His skin, every inch of it, was pale gray with jagged cracks like dry clay. His eyelids looked sunken almost to the bone. I stopped mid-step when he passed me, and I couldn't help saying, "Dude, that is incredible makeup." He turned slowly to look at me. His mouth curled up, revealing teeth that weren't yellowed so much as rotting. He stared so long I thought he didn't hear me. But then he said softly, "Thanks." His voice was thin and hoarse, but weirdly wet, as if speaking hurt him. He disappeared into the crowd. Hours later, when the party started dying down, I passed him again, walking toward the basement stairs. He wasn't laughing or drunk like the others, just quietly making his way down in that slow, drifting way. I didn't think much of it until I left with my friends. 10 minutes after we got home, we heard sirens. Lots of them. Curious, we walked back toward the house and saw police cruisers blocking the street. Yellow tape stretched across the front yard. Partygoers were being questioned outside. That's when I saw them bring someone up from the basement, 2 officers, holding a man by his wrists. It was the same guy. His head tilted oddly as he looked around, eyes like cloudy glass. He wasn't in makeup. The skin was exactly as I'd seen in the party lights, but now under flashing police strobes it looked wrong. Not fake. Cracked open in places, revealing what looked like blackened tissue beneath. An officer shouted at the crowd to stay back, and I caught a glimpse of something behind him. A pile of clothes and shoes scattered across the basement floor, along with what looked like several pale hands poking from a trash bag. The man's rotting smile widened as they pushed him toward a cruiser. He locked eyes with me for a moment and mouthed one word I couldn't understand, until I got home and realized he had said, "You're next."